Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. I'd like to start this session by appreciating you so much for making this channel grow. If you wish to support us, just subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. You are aware that the courts have handed William Ruto and his 50 CAS a major blow, and this has been the talk of the town lately. But there is a particular tweet that Pauline Njoroge posted which appears to be relevant to the current happenings and the current problems that are facing William Ruto at the moment. Of course, we understand that some of the chief administrative secretaries have vowed to take the matter to the Court of Appeal. I want to share with you a lengthy tweet from Pauline Njoroge about what she thinks William Ruto is faced with because of the problems that are bedeviling this Kenya Kwanza regime. So Pauline Njoroge said, Ruto suffers from a serious God complex. As per Google definition, God complex is an unshakable belief characterized by consistently inflated feelings of personal ability. According to Ruto, everything President Uhuru did except having him as his running mate both in 2013 and 2017 was wrong. This revisionism turns hypocritical because according to Ruto and his acolytes, the initiatives Uhuru undertook between 2013 and 2017 were perfect, but everything from 2017 to 2022 except handing over power to him was a fraud. BBI was a fraud. Nairobi Expressway was a fraud. Huduma number was a fraud. Fast forward, even before settling in office, he copied some pages in the BBI fraud and transmitted them to the National Assembly for consideration. Now he has waded into Huduma number, which he gleefully enrolled for and declared it a fraud. In matters registration of persons, he is obviously looking for a shortcut which will end up harming the greater interests of the country. But does he care? Huduma number, unlike the digital ID he is talking about, was never about just idle sitting in front of a desktop and issuing a digital ID. It was about matching the biometrics of the enrollees with their existing personal data in government databases with the main objective of identifying a critical number of persons who have stolen the Kenyan identity. Some of these persons, especially along the borders, are a burden to the Kenyan taxpayers in several ways. Some Ugandans along Busia and Tanzanians along Kajiado have successfully obtained the Kenyan ID and thus are able to access GOK services. The Somalia one, which always elicits a lot of emotions is even more problematic in light of Ruto's government's decision to open up some border points. Recent terror attacks, integration of refugees, and abolition of IDs vetting. On matters ID registration, there has been some unique trends where a lady who is 18 years old miraculously becomes a mother of 5 children, and simply because there is no biometric verification of not just the mother but even the children at enrollment, the strange occurrence remains unresolved. There are some of the things that Huduma number was trying to resolve. It was in line with protecting our sovereignty, enhancing the country's security, and protecting Kenya's taxpayers from exploitation by non-Kenyans who have stolen Kenyan identities. Now that Ruto has discarded the biometric verification, which was almost complete by 8th August 2022, those who have obtained Kenyan registration documents illegally can celebrate identity theft will continue unabated, and there is a huge possibility of this administration importing non-Kenyans and granting them IDs in readiness for rigging in 2027. Because of Ruto's selfish interests, the fight against terrorism will be jeopardized and our country will be exposed. He obviously wants to please certain political constituencies which would want identity documents dished out like wheelbarrows at the expense of the greater national interests. But does he care about anything else except recapturing power in 2027? Meanwhile, I am wondering if Huduma number was such a fraud, why does Ruto's government plan to digitally enroll births at some point? Was this not part of the Huduma architecture? Or the other reason that the initiative has just become a fraud is so that the Huduma cards printing machine can be discarded in favor of dishing a new tender? That was a lengthy tweet from Pauline Njoroge intended to go to William Samoei Ruto, and William Samoei Ruto has been exposed in this lengthy tweet. And in the lengthy tweet, it talks about the Huduma number, which was pronounced as fraud by the Tanga people. That time, you remember when the government had asked all people to enroll for the Huduma number. And this faction talked about it being fraud. But you realize that in their own narrative now, they are bringing about digital IDs, which is almost the same as Huduma number, because Huduma number sought to digitize all these things in one card. So the digital ID is almost more or less trying to do exactly that, because there is the aspect of re-registrations of Kenyans again. So the question is, why can't the government simply use the database that was already collected so that they can use that to register people? Why can't they just use that data? Because with this new dispensation, the idea of digital ID will mean Kenyans will have to be registered afresh. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Maybe that is if they want to go it that direction also. Because first, Huduma number subjected Kenyans to registration. Of course, some people talked about this issue. Some didn't welcome it, but others welcomed it. But the truth of the matter is that it was some kind of audit that was being done on people. And Pauline Njoroge has exposed this, the whole process about what Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was intending to do. You know, the issue of the Somalian borders, the issue of Tanzania nationalists, the issue of Uganda nationalists. Those are people who have been acquiring IDs fraudulently. So that is what Pauline Njoroge has talked about in this. So it talks about the BBI also, that William Ruto termed it as fraud. But when you realize that most of the contents which are in that BBI, William Ruto used them, and that's why you find that the people like Mudavadi were appointed, and that appointment that Mudavadi got, the Prime CS, was just part of the BBI formation. But because BBI formation was simply going to solve the issue of imbalances in various communities, whereas many people are now crying that this regime is not adhering to the social balances, to the tribal balances in terms of governance. So it is only giving two communities a lot of those posts. Two communities have taken the 90% of the government appointments, whereas the 10 other communities are sharing the 10% that is left. So, dear viewers, allow me to wind up there. But Pauline Njoroge has sought to explain and expose this regime. And with that tweet, the lengthy tweet from Pauline Njoroge, it is clear to say that this regime is only trying to undo everything that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta did, so that they can just bring in new projects or new names. So what they are saying is that everything that happened between 2017 and 2022 from Uhuru, hizo ni vitu ambazo zikuwa ni kama haziko exist. And Pauline Njoroge is saying that according to William Ruto, everything that happened between 2013 and 2017 he recognizes, but everything that happened between 2017 and 2022 he doesn't recognize. So that is a very, very risky thing. If that is the case with this regime, that means all the expenditure that the government subjected on the projects for beginning 2017, 2022, they'll have to be redone. That is what Pauline Njoroge is trying to tell us, that these things will be redone because the regime has refused to recognize those projects. So dear viewers, allow me to end up there, but until we catch up again in our next analysis, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also give us a like. You can comment below the comment section, and until we catch up again, bye bye.